Video games. They can be a great way to escape and drown out your troubles of the real world, but sometimes the right game can come along and make a huge positive impact on your life. And to understand how Persona 5 changed my life, I guess I have a little explaining to do first. I used to study concept art. That's what I thought my goal in life was at the time. I just wanted to make pre-production art for video games. I guess you could say me and Yusuke are pretty much twins. I successfully dropped out of college after the second year, opting to finish my last 2 years at an online school instead. And when I switched to fully working online, I went into full hermit mode. I was living the sweet life of Futaba. I was almost entirely alone for 2 years, with my girlfriend at the time being my only real link to humanity. I did what I thought most artists had to do. Sacrifice all your needs to prioritize the work. The work is the most important. That meant hunger, sleep, and a healthy mental state went straight to the back burner. My priority now was to try and level up my art game to reach the god-tier level of work professional artists were already pumping out. I mean, look at this beautiful ass art, bro! I was too proud to admit it at the time, but deep down I began to feel as though I had chosen the wrong career. But I was too afraid to admit it to my family and to those around me. I was too afraid of people seeing me as a failure, so I kept myself trapped in this awful routine because in a really effed up way, it felt safe. Fast forward to late 2019, I'm now single, heartbroken, and back to living with my parents. But hey, at least I was done with school. Around the same time, I started getting emails from art directors for freelancing jobs, and that's when it hit me. I had made it. I was at my goal. I was technically part of the industry now. I used to dream of this moment. I was supposed to be happy. After 4 years, I was finally getting work. Wow. I felt empty. I was finally working, but it was still just me, my room, my screens, the tablet, and wasting hours upon hours working in Photoshop. It took 4 years for me to come to the realization that I hated it. I respected the craft, but I wanted nothing to do with it anymore. So I quit. I thought I knew what I wanted, but now my life's purpose felt like Jason from Heavy Rain, and I was just the dad trying to find it.
Jason! Jason!
In between all that, I started this channel as my new creative outlet just to make videos for fun until one day, one of my longtime friends drops me a little game recommendation. Now I didn't know it at the time, but this little game would change my life forever. And that game was Persona 5. Now I'm not normally a diehard JRPG fan. I'm not used to the slow strategic combat in those games. I'm that idiot who likes a couple buttons to mash so I can destroy everything on screen, easy peasy. But I decided to try out Persona 5 and let me tell you, my guy, this game slaps. Hard. Harder than I used to spank the monkey back in middle school. Now, for those of you who don't know, Persona 5 is a Japanese RPG game set in Tokyo, Japan. You play as Joker, a high school student on probation after being falsely charged with assault for just trying to help a woman escape the clutches of Japanese Mr. Clean. You go to school, study for tests, hang out with your friends, and carry this little bitch everywhere you go. You learn to dodge chalk like a pro, find some work after class for some extra cash, or jump into the sauna with old wrinkle men to level up your charm for the ladies. And yeah, you can also hire your homeroom teacher to be your maid. That's right, your homeroom teacher is also a struggling part-time maid. She needs extra cash, so you can hire her to come to your house to clean your stuff, and in return, she lets you slack off in class so you can make smoke bombs and lockpicks. And also, you can go on dates with her, so that's cool, right?
You're under arrest.
This game oozes style, my guy. It oozes style harder than I ooze out Mexican food on the toilet. It basically feels like a playable anime or manga. It's got these beautifully animated cutscenes sprinkled throughout the game and an incredibly charming graphical art style. The bustling streets of Tokyo and its crowds, the coffee shop, and even the in-game menus all just scream style! The graphic design on its own sets this game apart from any other game I've played before. And the music is so good, it could probably cure cancer. It's not one of the reasons it's changed my life, but it's up there. The music of Persona 5 has quickly become part of my top 5 favorite game soundtracks ever. It's now the soundtrack to my life, and I'm not exaggerating. Its infectious melodies have kept my mood up for months now. Composer Shoji Meguro did an amazing job bringing the world of Persona 5 to life with the musical score, and Len Inaizumi's beautiful voice on these tracks just brings everything together. Her voice is like liquid cocaine getting poured through my ears. If you ever have to deliver bad news to me, just make sure the soundtrack is on. It helps me cope. Give it to me straight, doctor. How is it? Just give me a moment, son. I'm sorry, we did all we could, but your pet squirrel died of a rare cardiac arrest. Well, shit. That's a real bummer, man. When you're not hitting baseballs at the batting cages and clogging your arteries by stuffing your face with a 50-pound burger, you're out fighting crime. But not in the real world with your fists like some kind of Spider-Man. That is some dumbass shit. No. You fight crime inside of people's minds. Welcome to Phantom Thieving 101. By day, you and your squad are just regular high school students, but come nighttime, it gets dark, and you become the vigilante badasses known as the Phantom Thieves. Now, the bad guys in this game are mostly all adults, power tripping off their nuts and butts, ruining other people's lives for their own personal gain. But through a mysterious app on your phone, you and your friends can travel into the adults' egotistic mind palaces to try and change their hearts back to good. You guys still with me? Good. Once you defeat the adult's true disgusting ego, you zoink the treasure and zoot it back to the real world. This in turn forces the adult back in the real world to confess their crimes. Thus, we defeat the enemy by allowing the enemy to defeat themselves. Pretty cool, huh? Any questions? Somehow that seems like a lot more work than just beating the life out of them and throwing them in jail. Also, where's the part about this game changing your life?
I'm getting there.
Now, up until this point, I've just been talking about how great the game is, but I haven't yet touched on the topic of this video. How in the world did a video game change me? How did this Japanese RPG game help me out of one of the lowest points of my life? I believe it's a combination of two things: my interaction with the characters and the underlying message the game conveys through the story. The cast of characters felt real. Getting to know them, learning their personalities, and building trust with each and every one of them is extremely rewarding. Especially when you see their individual lives improve with your help. I felt like I was making a difference. Each day I would escape to this game for a couple hours at a time. It felt like I was going to hang out with my friends every night before bed. It made me feel less alone in a time where I needed the company the most. I know that sounds sad, but the more I played, the more I started to look up to life and see things differently. Hanging out with these virtual, fictional friends and talking to them helped me understand so much about myself and about life in general. Something just clicked. According to the Wikipedia, Persona 5's director Katsura Hashino wanted the game to be an emotional experience that left its audience with a strong sense of catharsis. He wanted players to leave the game with a sense of clarity in their own lives. And I think he and the team at P Studios have definitely accomplished that. The game started to shake me and wake me up, almost as if I was waking up to my own persona. Where before I had been worrying about the opinions of others, now I started to realize no one's opinion mattered but my own. Why would I limit myself because of what I think someone else thinks of me? That's stupid. Fuck that. Fuck what anybody else thought. I was gonna do what made me happy regardless. Persona 5 also helped me realize that even at your lowest point, you can always pick yourself up, just as Joker did. You can always find the free time to get back to the drawing board, find new goals, gather some friends, build a team if you want to, and go against the grain to forge your own paths. Dare to stand out and make a difference in this world instead of just being another cog in the machine as the Okumura employees were. Make a difference, whether big or small. Even if pursuing what you really love doing is the harder way, and even if it doesn't pay you hundreds of millions of dollars, you'll look back on your life at 80 years old without regret, because you did what you loved. The funny thing is, you can find the basic underlying message of the game before you even make it to the menu screen. Wake up, get out there. And then also dab on top of a moving train because it looks cool as fuck. Persona 5 is a big reason I decided to really start working on my YouTube channel and take it seriously. I know that's not a unique goal, but it's one that makes me happy. Even back in 5th grade when I used to make shitty Lego stop motion videos, I was having fun. This game helped me come to the conclusion that I love making videos, so why not chase that dream? Now if you'll excuse me, I have to go back to doing the other thing I love. Living my life to the Persona 5 soundtrack, of course. I mean, life's too short. It's too unpredictable. And as a wise woman once said, you'll never see it coming.
You'll never see it coming.